Welcome to the Prophecy Club. One of the most important things that we can have if you want God's protection in the day of trouble is a prayer closet. In this particular DVD, Building Your Prayer Closet, God's Protection in the Time of Trouble, I explain to you how to get God's protection. You'll discover why God protected David from the lion and the bear, Daniel from the mouth of the lion, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego from the flame of the furnace, and even in modern times, Dimitri Duduman from the electric chair. I talk about how I was led to build a prayer closet, how I built it, and what I discovered there. I also explain to you how to build your prayer closet relationship with God. I give you some simple steps to get you started all the way up to the most advanced ideas. If you want to get closer to God, close enough to get God's supernatural protection, this is for you. Now let's go listen to Building Your Prayer Closet, Protection in the Day of Trouble. There's different attitudes. One night I just walked in and I just went in my prayer closet. I said, Lord, I don't want to ask for anything tonight. Matter of fact, tonight, Lord, I think all I want to do is just worship you. I just want to tell you how much I love you. And all of a sudden, words just weren't enough. And so I began to just sing to him. Now, I'm not real good at singing, and you probably don't want me to sing. And I'm not real good at remembering the words to songs. But I did my best. And, I would get in there, and one of them that I always love to sing to him is, I love you, Lord, and I lift my voice to worship you. Oh, my soul, rejoice. I like that one. And another one I like is, you deserve the glory and the honor, and I lift my hands to worship and to praise your holy name. And sometimes I would forget the words. Now, I thought it was at first a handicap and a disadvantage, and I thought, all right, fine, I'm just going to not worry about the words. I'm just going to sing what really is coming from my heart. What I didn't know is I stepped into a whole new level. And when I began to worship the Lord, not with someone else's words, but with mine. Now, I could borrow their melodies, that's fine. But when I started worshiping the Lord with the words that came from my heart. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes I had to say the words a little bit faster to make them fit the sentence, you know what I'm saying. But, I can probably take just about any melody and turn it into a worship song because I just began to worship and just tell the Lord how much I love Him. And when I started doing that, all of a sudden, my dreams increased, and I really reached a level to where I knew the Lord. And I could tell more than anything I had ever done, it pleased Him. More than the praise, more than the correction, He loved me to sing to Him out of my heart, my words. And so, and of course, sometimes He would give me a melody. And so, after a while, I'm making up my own songs, and I'm making up my own words. And, me and the Lord just having a good time, just worshiping. And, it would go on like 15, 30 minutes, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes. And then a lot of times I'd like to walk around out in the backyard and just worship Him. And I wasn't even on my hands, wasn't on my knees or anything, sometimes sitting down, but just worshiping the Lord, just telling Him how much I love Him. Not thanking Him, not asking Him for anything, just telling Him how much I love Him. And all of a sudden I noticed that when I asked for something, I got it. Now, let me say, I never go into the prayer closet to get. Let me say it again. I never go into the prayer closet to get something from God. The prayer closet is someplace that you go to give. It's a place or at least for me. Now, maybe you don't do a nationwide radio program on Bible prophecy and called to warn America, but with me it's a lot of correction. The correction's kind of slowed down a little bit later as I've begun to get closer to God. And I'll tell you, I've had a lot of people say that they've seen a lot of changes in me, and it's the prayer closet. The prayer closet has made real changes in me. I feel like I know God. I feel like I have a relationship with God like I've never had in my life. Let me give you an example. About a year ago now, we had an opportunity to go on a radio station in New York City. It was going to cost us about $15,000 a month to go on this station. We had to have first and last month's radio time up front in order to go on it. That means I had to have $30,000 to say yes to this station. As I recall, this is like about a Tuesday. And I had to let the station know by Friday if I was going to take the time or not. And the problem was, not only did we not have the money, but we were in a hole. And the way ministries go is if this is the breaking even level right here, it's up a little bit in the black and down in the red, and it seems like it's always struggling. If you're telling the truth out there these days, it seems like you're always struggling, always robbing Peter to pay Paul to get to the end of the month, and there's still bills left. And but I got on my knees that night, and I raised my hands to the Lord, and I said, Lord, I want New York. And I sat down. I want it really, really, really bad, because to me it seems like you can't take the judgment to New York City until you'd at least let me take the warning. Now maybe they won't receive it, maybe they won't hear it, but at least let me try to take the warning to New York City first. I said, now Lord, you already know we're about $45,000 in the hole. You also know that I have to have about $30,000 minimum up front to say yes to that station. And I said, so I don't know how you're going to do it, but nevertheless, I'm asking you to provide the money so I can take the warning to New York City. In Jesus' name. And that night, he spoke to me all night long. It wasn't a dream. It wasn't an audible voice. All I know is he did a download, and we had a Bible study. And he took me through 1 Kings chapter 17 and showed me a whole new revelation about what he was really doing there. And essentially he said this. He says, Stan, you are not an apostolic ministry that starts churches going from city to city to city like Paul starting churches. You are a prophetic ministry likened unto Elijah. And just like Elijah had the authority to ask the widow woman to give up to and including her last meal, you have that authority. Well, that released me, because if there's one thing every minister hates to do is take an offering. We hate to ask for money. We hate it. We just wish we could just do our work and the money just come in, like it's really supposed to. But anyway, but what he released me because he gave me authority to ask for money. Then he went on to say, but when they give their last meal, now I'm also saying you have the authority to pray a supernatural blessing back on them, just like Elijah did for the widow woman, to provide for the meal and the oil so it would not fail during the time of trouble. And here's what you can say. And so I went on the radio and made a radio program the next day, played that. That one program brought in just a little over $100,000. Enough money, the most successful program we've ever had on the Prophecy Club in 13 years. By Friday, I said yes to go onto that station. Now, there's more to the story. Now, $15,000 a month, it would be really nice if I could tell you in about 3 months, New York accepted the message so much that the response from the radio station there paid the $15,000 a month like it normally happens on most of the radio stations, but